everyone. Welcome to a Q&A session with Leyla Yilmaz, who is the producer, the director, and the screenplay writer of a film called Not Knowing that we're showing at the Vancouver Turkish Film Festival. I am the assistant director of Vancouver Turkish Film Festival, and I'm so happy to be hosting this session with Leyla Yilmaz. A quick heads up, there may be a few spoilers because we're going to talk about the ending, but this is a recorded session and it will be available to our North American audience after the screening of the film Not Knowing. Now we reach Leyla Yilmaz in Western Turkey in a town, sleepy town called Assos on the Aegean. Good morning to me and good evening to you, Leyla.
Yes, good morning to you and good evening to me, of course.
How are you?
Hello, everyone.
Great. Leyla, what a beautiful film. I'm really impressed with the theme and the way, the script and everything. I'll start off by asking you about the creation of the film, the genesis, if I may. Besides the main theme, there seems to be a few stories on the side, all of which have their own development, but there's no resolution, which works, and it works well. How did you come up with the theme, with the screenplay?
I came up with the story when I started to feel like a person who knows less and less every day. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember the last time I felt sure about what is going on in the life, in the world. Something strange happens almost every day. And then it made me think on how little we know about our lives and how easy we judge. And we know almost nothing about the biggest thing. But we are happy to go through our lives with all the big and important questions left unanswered. Mm-hmm. Yet we seem to have developed an almost pornographic obsession to learn about the private lives of those around us. And it is the age of prejudice and intolerance what we are living in. And while the amount of the information available increases with access to new technologies, so does our ignorance. People's private and emotional lives are consumed like a pure object of consumption. Yes. And what remains is societies with drained, perishing, and unconfident individuals. And the idea came up when I was thinking about all these issues. Mm-hmm. And then I wanted to make a film and let us face our unknowingness and prejudice. Mm-hmm. And I started writing Bilmemek as a way to address some of these issues. And so with Bilmemek, and I want nobody knows everything. And I wanted to leave the audience with their own prejudice. Yes. What was going on. And I particularly want to avoid using the camera which knows everything, all-knowing, all-seeing camera, and known as omniscient point of view, we call. And then we all may have some idea about Umut's sexual orientation or the Umut's mothers and fathers' private lives. But although these ideas may change person to the another person, but all of these triggers our curiosity.
Yes.
But the movie actually tries to show that none of this matters at all.
And the ending really justifies the title.
Yes, yes, exactly. The title says a lot of things about the film. We don't have to know everything.
That's right.
We have to know what is information and what is the curiosity. There is a thin red line between them.
So when you thought about the ending, you wrote it before, or did it develop as you were shooting the film?
No, I wrote it just before.
Yeah. So not many films, at least not mainstream films, deal or approach issues, LGBTQ issues, or they definitely don't approach homophobia. And when there is a representation, such representation, usually homosexual individuals are portrayed as funny and entertaining characters in the films. Why do you think, could you comment on why the Turkish mainstream TV and cinema does not go near LGBTQ issues? Do you think that's a financial, commercial success issue, or do you think it's a top-down government issue?
Actually, we cannot say only one thing. There are a lot of issues. They affect a lot of issues. First of all, how we see the homosexuality in Turkey, the marginalization of homosexuals in our countries is really hard and disgusting. And judging another person because of their sexual orientation is so outdated. It's not easy a life in Turkey for homosexual people. And it's just, the films just, for example, unfortunately, these lazy mechanism, the people, they don't want to buy this kind of thing because they don't want to see, they avoid to see the homosexual people. And then they just, and unfortunately, this lazy mechanism for bias won't go until we educate people properly. And to understand that another person's difference in whatever form isn't a threat to them. And when dealing with such a sensitive issue, care must be taken, not miss anything. And then I can say, when I'm giving an example about what I did, I'm just trying to highlight with my film the journey of the many teenagers go through when they are pushed into fit in. But my statement, I am not making a statement about homosexuality with this film.
That's right.
I was trying to project some different thing. When dealing with these all type of issues, and it's always possible that you talk about things that general political environment and environment doesn't like, and then it's easy you become an unwanted person and by some group of people or by some groups. That's why this type of subjects and then automatically fall into the domain of the independent cinema. And the mainstream cinema doesn't want to contradict whatever the current politics are. And it wants to produce films that keep on the pulse of the general public view. And they are looking to have an audience who ask questions. They aren't looking at an audience who ask questions about their existence, especially about themselves and then their views. In the mainstream world, and then the success of the film is determined by the box office numbers. And then for this reason, industrial cinema is slow to address social change. And then, for example, when you mention about the funny homosexual characters, and then other European countries walked a similar path in 70s, in 80s. they have moved on their portrayal of the homosexuality, and is far more variety now in their cinema. Hopefully we can follow that path, maybe.
Hopefully.
But yes, but you know, it is the fact the homosexuality is just, you know, haven't discussed enough yet in Turkey, because the many people prefer to put the thing under the carpet. They don't want to face this issue.
Yeah.
As for addressing homophobia, the issue is that first you have to have a society that can deal homosexuality. It is important to see the thing.
You said on the phone with me that this is a film about othering. It's about how to deal, putting people in categories. Would you say this is similar to, you know, we don't see minority rights like Alevi or Kurdish rights dealt with in cinema? And so would you say your film is similar to that? It's about othering people.
Yeah, because yeah, of course, but you know, being the homosexuality itself is just really delicate issue, because in Turkish society, in Kurdish society, in Alevit society, it is still a problem being a homosexual.
Yes.
You know, it's different. You know, it's really hard to, you know, see the people. But interesting thing, when the premiere was Antalya the first time last year in Antalya, the film met with the audience, and the audience reaction was great. And then at that moment, I just sent a little snowball to the audience, and then it came to me like an avalanche. They all really wanted to ask about the film. Yes. More than Q&A, it was just telling something about their life, you know. Mm-hmm. I think people want to talk, but, you know,
well, they're hungry for that sort of theme, right? I mean, it's been, like you said, it's been swept under the carpet for so many years.
Yes.
So people are really hungry and thirsty for that, you know, for that kind of discussion, that kind of discussion. Yes. So this, one of the things that I was told to bring up, and I would like to ask you about this wonderful young man, Emir Özden. He was amazing, and the rest of your cast, Senan Kara, Yurdaer Okur, and Levent Üzümcü. What a beautiful fit. Could you tell us how you find each other? How did you find each other?
Yeah, yes, I have to say, first of all, yes, they are all quite remarkable and really talented and very precious actors. And to meet with them, just, you know, I should say thank you to Harika Uygur. She's our casting director. She is one of the person just let us come together in that project. The casting process was very enjoyable, and first we started to search for Umut and then young people, and then we wanted to find a group of young men who felt like they fitted together. And we also wanted them all play water polo. That's why in that time, and then we met them, the professional water polo players, the young people, and then they became our actors later.
Yeah.
And when we just found Emir as an Umut, and then we started searching to find the rest of the family, Senan and Sinan, Senan and Yurdaer, and later we met with Levent and all the others. And
they're all familiar faces.
Sorry?
They're all familiar faces to the Turkish audience. Yes. Yeah. Go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yes. We had a long rehearsal process, and where we talked about the characters' backgrounds, things you don't see in the film. And then like Senan's relationship, the Selma's relationship with the family, with the father, with the brother, and then like the Sinan's childhood and how they met, Sinan and Selma, how they met each other, and this kind of thing. And then, but the synergy was great between the actors, and then we started to see them. They are really family. And then Yurda is the father of Emir, and then they were just, you know, everything. And then once one of the festival, one of the gala night, and then Emir said, just, you know, I asked Emir, how are you going, you know, how are you going to go back home? And then Emir said, I will go with my dad. He stopped. With you there later, he said.
Oh, that's so great. So natural. Yeah, that's
wonderful.
Yeah,
it was so natural. It was so natural.
That's great. In the film, even though it's not articulated loudly, you still get a sense that there is a sense of isolation, detachment in the family members. Why did you think that was important? What does that add to the theme in general, to the theme of bullying and othering and categorizing, like the sense of alienation among the group members? Why do you think that was an important thing? Although it really adds something rich, but I would like to hear from you. Why do you think that's important?
Oh, just, you know, I should start talking with the family first, actually. And then, because the family, the lack of communication between individuals in the family is a common denominator. And in this family, they come together while watching something, or at the dinner table, or they come together just this kind of reason. But communication established as little as possible. And then each of them, they're living in their own world, and which allows them to avoid turning verbal communication into the verbal violence. And then, as happens when they are forced to talk about serious family issue, a couple times we saw in the film, when they start to talk about the real issue about the Umut's future, or the thing between them, and it turns a verbal violence, kind of.
Yes.
And I wanted to show a family on the edge. And then yes. And then just, you know, somehow they loved each other, and then a couple, they loved each other, but, you know, just they are trapped right now. The things change, and then the life changed something, so they are trapped in this relationship for sake of their son, and they do feel isolated and alone, each of them, one by one. And then we see also this thing with Umut's life. And Umut has developed a life, avoids the things, avoid them, and then at home or in the team. So he gets on and smiles sweetly when he needs to, when he has to. But when his world, when it's upturns, and then the situation is changed, and when we think all these elements help to build the family as a house of cards. So when it's shaken, it's not able to stay standing. Umut ultimately feels he needs to deal with his situation alone. And then, so he does in the film. He does, which leaves Selma and Sinan facing the emptiness, while realizing far apart they had become.
Yes. And you know, this is such a universal theme, and I think when something's universal, it makes the film much more successful. You see that in North America, families under the same roof, in their own corners with their own devices, detached from each other, and then the members of the family don't communicate until a tragedy strikes. And so so that it's subtle, but it's really in the film. And then the ending, then you know, well, you don't know. You don't really know what's happening at the end, but you can visualize it. You can take it in any direction. It's such a successful ending, I must say. But why water polo? Is there a significance? Why is it more significant than other sports? What's the meaning of water polo in the film?
Actually, to me, water polo resembles people's social life, social relationship. I chose it because fall play is not permitted above the water, but players have every opportunity to engage it in it under the water. And our behavior under and above the water are often different in the life.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
Yes, in water polo, there's a tremendous struggle under the water. And in some places, it can get really brutal. And meanwhile, on the surface, they don't want to show they are breaking the rules, breaking off the rules. And if the violation isn't seen by the referee, and is no penalty, like life. You know, it's very similar. To me, it felt life is like water polo. It seemed like a very good metaphor for peoples who struggle to stay above the water and can see all kind of violence underwater.
Wow, that is such a powerful metaphor. That's wonderful. And so, what future projects do you have, Leyla Yilmaz? Do you have any upcoming films or screenplays in mind? Because we would like to host you here in person in the future. This pandemic is not going to last long. So could you tell us a little bit about your future projects? And I hope you have a few.
I'm currently working on a script for my third film. And hopefully when the things start to lift from COVID and returns to normal, we will get up and running the project. And we made a lot of great connection with Bin Memek, and then we can hope we can use help for the next film. And with the next film, we hope we can get seen by a lot more people.
Oh, that's great. You received a lot of recognition and a lot of awards with your film, Not Knowing, mainly in Antalya Film Festival. Were you getting ready to travel internationally before the pandemic? Has anything changed for you in that way?
Yeah, of course something changed, but the success of the film and the appreciation it received, it made us very happy. Unfortunately, the pandemic has stolen our thunder a little bit.
Yes.
And the pandemic hit us as the entire cinema industry. And then I wish the movie was to play in the cinema first. But I guess this is not possible, you know, anymore.
Yes.
At least for this this condition. Alongside that, many festivals have been cancelled or decided to shrink, and the ones that have been happening have moved online, and then it affects also the travel plans, and so it's all changed, and maybe it won't. Yes, many things change, but sometimes we think it's a shame it's been like such a difficult time, but we are all helpless some extent in the face of a virus that has shaken the whole world, actually, not only my life, my film's life, not the entire, just the cinema world, but, you know, whole real world shaken against the virus. Hopefully when things lift again, and then which they will do eventually, and then people will want to engage more with their art, and then the stories we tell, and maybe people will value more value cinema and little more an experience, and not take these things for granted, maybe.
Yes. So, well, keep working. We would love to definitely see more films from you. We actually, we are showing 4 feature films. We restricted it to 4 because of the online platform. But 2, it's interesting that 2 of our films deal with the LGBTQ issues, and then 2 of our directors are female. And last year we had a panel discussion about the position of women in the film industry and the challenges they have. That was our panel discussion last year. So it's so great to see female directors, and we would like to support you. But we're not just supporting you because you're female, and you're wonderful, you and Eylem Kaftan. So please keep working and bring us more films. Do you want to say anything about the position of women in the film industry? And actually, I also want to mention that your main character's name is Umut, which means hope. First of all, I want to ask you if that was on purpose. But what I'm saying is I'm seeing a lot of hope for some of the issues like minority rights and LGBTQ and women and violence against women. All of these are slowly showing themselves as themes in the films. But I wonder, first of all, is Umut, the name Umut, which means hope, is that intentional? And then I'd like you to comment on women, working women in the film industry.
Yeah, of course, just Umut is just intentional. The name is just, Umut starts at the beginning is their family's hope. Umut is a hope, actually. And then and then he was the hope, and then also as a character, he's going to be the hope for the whole people who just describe themselves the others, or the described by the society the others, because Umut was the strong character in the film. And then it gives the Umut, it gives the hope, and then like his name, the meaning of his name.
That doesn't get lost in translation.
Yes, it's hard. Yeah. And the other thing is the female, as it being a female filmmaker. And which I don't like, and female directors thing is because we never describe male director.
That's right.
And then it's kind of discrimination inside,
Is it just positive discrimination?
Sorry?
Is it positive discrimination?
Yeah, but we have to be very careful even when we are making a positive discrimination. But when we, for example, the next year, just in Berlin Film Festival, they will do something. They just remove, they stopped a wording as a female actress or male actor, and it's going to be only one actor award, because there is no gender of the acting. They decided. I think being a director, something genderless. I don't just I'm so happy, and then I want to see the more female people in the film industry. But I don't just but I don't prefer to describe them the female director, because we don't say male director. Just it's important to me, but it's very important to see the female film industry people in the industry. It's important. The producers, the directors, the writers, and an actress and an actors.
Yes. Yeah. I understand. Well, thank you, Leyla. We are nearing the end of our Q&A. If is there something you wanted to say about your film that I haven't touched on, or anything? We can't wait to see your new projects finished, and I really hope that we get to host you here in Vancouver. Have a great evening in
Thank you.
And enjoy.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For letting me just make this e-commerce, Q&A, and thank you so much.
It's our honor. Goodbye.
Goodbye.